girl, Caroline. I love you so much. You've been on so many journeys with me. We got a little tuckered out going over the dunes, so we're having a little break here on Chaos on our radio hour Solstice special. We're getting everything ready to go visit our friends Stacy and Sprague up in Manio, and I got some ideas for gifts. And I've been thinking of the nature of magic. I suppose one of the things which is impossible for me to capture on video or recording for you, and I do not write these down. The rule for that is goddess don't need twice. Some things will be said best once the first time. Usually some sort of insight. If you can, suddenly understand the nature of any material deeper. For example, let's say you understand magnetism on a surface level, but you go to school for it, and after a while, one day you have holy shit, that's what magnetism is. And that first time it hits your head, it will be the purest render from your unconscious. It will be the understanding itself, intact in its densest symbolic form, and with the least amount of translation through your shitty linguistic system, which puts all kinds of weird limiters on it. We shouldn't be putting manifestation spells through our linguistic filter, and they need to go through our symbolic filter. If you put your symbolic, spells through your linguistic system, if you say them, if you think them too much, if you write them down, if you overwork them, you've already fucked up. Shit ain't gonna work, because it is by the nature of the tyranny of words that spells cannot be spoken without inherently casting limitations which come from the blindness that you have inherited through your childhood trauma and your generational trauma. We live in a time when there is so many hidden daggers within each of us that it is inevitable that you are carrying a few. And if you try to use language to say what you understood, you'll actually make it smaller than it was if you just took what your unconscious did. Because this is the difference between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind, where the processes are in your limbic, I believe. So that first time they erupt out is the best. And the less said and the more allowed in its totality, which is a realm breaker. If you're going to understand some of the higher realm stuff or abstract mathematics, you just got to let it be wonked. It's too many dimensions at once, but it is possible for you to understand it with your body, where you cannot yet understand it with your mind. And for me, I get these outputs after long periods of duress or transition, in particular when my fascia is working. And so while I'm healing injuries using my autophagus system, there is something in the act of the autophagy outlining a portion of my body which is going to be reconstructed, because that's what it does. If you're going to be out of food for approximately 10 days, let's say, your body will choose, or whatever. Your body makes all its own choices, but let's say it chooses a 5-day supply of energy, because it's your own self. It knows exactly what it's doing. You know what I mean? So it just says, I've been meaning to get around the elbow, and it will take me 7 days of not eating to chew through everything in the elbow, which is old, disused, no longer functioning. It's adhesions in your fascia. We are no longer injured in that space, and we're going to use this time. We're going to fuel ourselves while simultaneously repairing ourselves. And so because it is both a fuel source and a repair schedule, you're kind of locked in if you're doing it the healthy way. And your mind generally kind of has a sense of it's about 3 days to the next watering hole. So for 3 days you won't drink water, and your body will take advantage of the dehydrated state for the way in which it does. You're fucking stupid if you think dehydration doesn't have positive benefits or a role to play in the endless cycles of your body. I mean, my God, really? Fucking grow up. And your mind kind of projects, it's about 3 or 4 days, and then it schedules into your hormone cycles you know, if you're attached to your circadians and you're aware of your topography and you have a relationship with your body that can sense how long it's going to, you know, how long can you go without drinking? I know because I've done it enough. How long can I go without eating? I know because I've done it enough. So sometimes I don't eat, not because I am fighting to not eat. It is rather because my body locked in a rather long cycle of repair. Shit, dude, I'm doing an 11-day stint here. You know, it has happened to me before. And while your body is repairing, if you try to eat at that time, it's like when there's that blue screen on your computer that says Windows is updating and it gives you a percentage mark. Like, you really don't want to turn it off. I don't know what happens, but like maybe you have to buy a new computer. You get scared, right? And that's exactly how it feels. And my body uses the cycles of the ocean and the moon and the sun and the weather and the barometric pressure to signal the beginning and ends of these things. So I am often under quite a bit of tension until a storm comes. And then finally the job gets finished. But if a storm doesn't come, I have to wait until one comes. My body just can't do it until there's a barometric pressure change, right? And associated with these updates, after 3, 5, 7, 10, whatever number of days, I get an upgrade to my biomechanics, but then I get a cascade of like thought outputs, like shit which I had been thinking about. There was something about like simultaneous about the reconstruction and the autophagus process in a mechanical sense of like, you know, fixing my shoulder, that simultaneously acted as a form of deep processing that allowed vastly complex formulas to be rendered in my unconscious. So I lose my chatter monkey, I lose my ego. You know, I'm running on thin neurochemistry and I'm just kind of going on vibe. And underneath, I'm doing hardcore reconstruction at the genetic level, at the cellular level, and simultaneously, my brain is taking advantage of those times to really fucking think about shit. And what'll happen is, I, you know, come off an event where I'm tired, I'll get a little tuckered, and then I'll sit down, and just while I'm being bored, my mind will suddenly come across a concept, an idea, a thing that I had been wrestling with but couldn't quite put into words, and then suddenly be gifted this wonderful, and now I have a powerful analogous mind, so it comes in the form of analogies for me. This is like that, and that is like this, and that's just the way that is, huh? And so today on this longest day, as I hang out in the dunes, maybe 4:30 Saturday in Caroline, I can feel the ocean upon me and the sun up high, and you know, we somewhat hide, you know, curse the sun with all our love. We both got stuck out. Caroline got a little overheated, and my feet got a little burned, her feet got a little burned. I tried to carry her, it was just not good news. So we've been tucking in here, and it feels very the way it should be for me right now. And I want to share with you that I am going through profound levels of, not realization, it is rather the simplification of that which I had come to understand myself but could not say. And it's awesome. Because when you kind of finally put your finger on, why am I upset about this? And you're like, it's kind of like this, but it's kind of like that, but you're not sure. That's annoying. But you know what's awesome? When you're like, oh, yeah, it's because they've betrayed us for several hundred years, and this whole system was designed from the beginning to keep you enslaved. And we need to stop thinking about it as a benevolent system that's gone wrong. No, it is a prison which was designed, it wasn't designed to last this long, but it is a self-perpetuating one, and we're just going to find out what happens when we all realize it. And the people who built the prisons died a long time ago, and the people running the prisons are asshats, incapable of anything truly difficult, and when shit goes tits up, SpaghettiOs. So, it's a prison break, y'all. Join me and let's break free, and I will tell you all the shit that you wish somebody had said a little bit better, because it sounds like what you think, right? I got my opinions, but I can make you feel better by scratching that itch. I'll say that shit for you, and if you don't like it, tell me to fuck off, Chaos Hunter. I don't like your words, and I'll say, good for you, boundaries are important. Don't let anybody put words in your head, even me. But if you like my words and you want them in your head, I'll put them there. And I'm pretty good about it. I'm actually really good about it. I'm a trained hypnotherapist. I've done neurolinguistic programming. I've studied neurology deeply. I am a shockingly intelligent person who has done a massive amount of work for this. Today is the culmination of, I reckon, about 5 full years of never came up with anything productive, but I kept doing the raw research on the stuff that I'm sharing. And I don't know, it's just interesting. And after all the shenanigans and bananas, here I am, chilling in a dude, hiding with my dog, cursing the sun with all my love, planning my schemes and my magic, my jailbreaks. My goddess flows through me. I can feel it in all things, and when people feel me, they can feel it too. And I don't make them say those words. I just vibe, because it's all energy, and I'm rather anti-linguistic, so I try not to say as much. But I can feel the realm shudder. We must carry on. Happy Solstice from Carolina Dog, and Adam, he's in here too, and me, the Chaos Hunter, your host and guide through the upcoming apocalypse. Be blessed, y'all, and Merry Christmas, and thank you for your service.